Okay, so we've all heard this one, right? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change those that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's called the serenity prayer. And I'll tell you, I think that this one little saying, or some people call it a serenity prayer. You could just call it a saying, or you could call it a guiding principle, or you could call it any number of different things. But just this one quote can radically change your life if you understand what it's saying. And here's what it's saying. It's saying that there are some things you don't control. There are some things that are not within your sphere of influence. There are some things that you just don't have any say in the matter. And it's when you don't understand that there are those things in your life and you try to influence them anyway that you begin to feel bad about you and yourself and your future and your prospects. There's a law of the universe. Now listen, guys, I talk a lot about laws because the reality is that there are physical laws of the universe, right? Like inertia and gravity and all these kind of things. But there's also emotional and spiritual laws, right? And they guide your life exactly the way that the physical laws of the universe do, whether you accept them or not. Right? If you believe in gravity or you don't, but you fall off a building, what's the end result? Right? So the same is true for the mental and emotional laws of the universe. The not physical laws, if you will. The metaphysical laws of the universe. And one is called the law of control. And the law of control states that you only feel good about yourself to the degree to which you feel you're in control of your own life. And if you think about that, it's true, right? When do we become angry or bitter or upset or frustrated? When does that happen to us? When do we find ourselves becoming angry or frustrated or upset? Typically when, someone cuts us off in traffic or when someone else does something to you that was outside your control or influences you in a way that you feel you don't have control, it brings up all kinds of negative feelings, doesn't it? When the boss tells you have to come in on Saturday, when you had other plans, right? When your spouse fusses at you for being outside in the gym when you should be inside doing something else, right? These kind of things get under your skin because you feel as though your life is being directed without your control. So if you'll stop for a second to examine your own experiences and what gets under your skin and what's upsets you, you'll find that the overwhelming majority of the time, negative feelings are aroused inside of you because in some way, shape, or form, you feel as though you're not in control of that particular situation, and that's what arouses these negative feelings. So the law of control is universal. It states that you only feel good about you and yourself and your circumstances to the degree to which you feel you're in control of your life. But if you don't understand what you have control over and what you don't, then you may try to exert influence on things you can't control, and when it doesn't work out, it pisses you off. Right? But if you understand that you don't have any control over it, then it doesn't make you mad because you're not trying to exert control. Let me give you an example. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Now, why does it do that? That's the way it works, man. I don't know. It doesn't matter if you understand it. It doesn't matter if you know why it happens. It doesn't matter if you like it or don't like it. It just is what it is, and there's nothing you and I are going to do about that. Isn't that true? So it'd be kind of silly to spend a good portion of your day being angry or upset or frustrated about the sun rising in the east and setting in the west, and I'll bet that you don't spend 1 second thinking about that or worrying about it or being upset about it, do you? And the reason why you don't is because you know there's nothing you can do about it, and you're not going to waste any time or energy trying to change it. And amazing how when you stop spending time and energy trying to change something and you resign yourself to the fact that it's outside your control, it doesn't upset you anymore. It doesn't affect you whatsoever. And the same can be said of other things in your life. We can't control the weather. We can't control the way that the stars rotate and the sun, the planets rotate around the sun and the stars, rotate throughout the universe. We can't control what our boss does or doesn't do. We can't control other people. All that we can control is our own reactions to the world around us. And so you have what I call a sphere of influence. And some people use sphere of influence as like the people you hang around, and that's true. But the way I look at it is you have a sphere of influence. Things, people, ideas, and circumstances that you can influence, and then there are things outside of that that you have no control over whatsoever. And if you can begin to identify what things fall inside your influence and what things fall outside, then you'll know where you can spend your time and energy and where that time and energy is wasted. And I'm going to tell you something. You become a much, much happier person when you stop trying to influence things you can't influence. because you never thought about it before. So stop and really think about the next time something upsets you. Stop and ask yourself, is it because you maybe, just maybe, you're trying to control the uncontrollable? And if you are, then you're spinning your wheels, you're wasting energy, and you're frustrating yourself for no reason. So a great way to influence, or excuse me, a great way to increase your level of happiness daily, to be a much more positive and excited and happy person. By the way, we know that the more positive and more excited, the more happy we are, the more people we're going to attract into our lives, the more influence we're going to have with folks, and the more opportunities are going to be opened up, doorways are going to be opened. If you want to elevate your level of happiness, if you just want to be a happier person in general, and not just to influence others or to attract others, but just because it's, let's face it, guys, it's not fun being miserable, right? It's just much more fun being a happy person. So if you just want to elevate your level of satisfaction in your own life for your own sake, if you just want to be a happier person, then begin to recognize that which you have control over and that which you don't. And if you can have the courage to influence that you can control, and the serenity to accept that which you cannot, and you can develop the wisdom to know the difference, your whole world can change. And that's the dose. Go make it a great day, guys.